Hey everybody, Brian from PhoneArena here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the ZTE Fury. The ZTE Fury is, as you can see here, a Sprint device. Not too many ZTE branded devices, but this is one of the first ones. We've also seen the ZTE Optic from Sprint, and if you remember back in the day, the Peel, which was an add-on to your iPod Touch that gave it some VoIP capabilities, so that was kind of cool. And then they also have a non-branded ZTE hotspot, the international hotspot that they're offering. But this here is an Android 2.3 Gingerbread device. It's running 2.3.6, so one of the later versions of Gingerbread. It has a 1 GHz Snapdragon S2 processor, 4 gigs of memory, and a half a gig of ROM in here. As you can see, it's got the Sprint ID logo, which means this is a Sprint ID device, similar to the Samsung Transform Ultra we just looked at. This device has a very vanilla version of Android out of the box, but with that ID feature, you can customize it, download theme packs, which are going to give you apps and ringtones and wallpapers that will make the device yours. Overall, in terms of build quality, it's not too bad. You have a 3.5-inch display here. It's HVGA and it's an IPS display. The quality's not bad. It does wash out in bright light, but as you can see, it's pretty easy to read. So as long as you're not using outside in direct sunlight, it's a really high quality screen. Performance is pretty good. We got quadrant scores of about 1600, which is right around average for a device like this. This retails for $19.99, so of course this is on the low end of devices, but reminds us very similar to the LG Optimus in terms of build quality, in terms of feel, in terms of everything. Those benchmarks don't really mean a whole lot. It's really how the real-world performance goes, and we didn't have any issues with hanging, lagging, lockups, anything like that. So it was a little bit slower than the Samsung, but you really have to be looking for it to notice the difference. Around the phone, we've got our volume rocker and our micro USB charging port on the side. Up top is a 3.5mm headset jack to go along with the power button, and a dedicated camera key on the other side. On the back there is a 5-megapixel camera. Camera results were so-so. Nothing too great, but again, this device is $19.99, so it's kind of what we expect. Unlike the Transform Ultra, we do not find a front camera here, so there's going to be no video chatting or self-portraits with this one. The build quality is very good. Like we said, it's got the 3.5-inch display, and then all around it, it almost feels like a case because I'm not sure if you can really tell there, but it's just slightly recessed. It is a real high-quality soft-touch plastic, so it's a little bit grippy. We like the design on the back here, nothing too special, but it just gives it a little bit of personality. And then, of course, the chrome trim on the side, but the phone feels very solid, very hefty. Since the Fury is running a pretty stock version of Android, you're going to find all the default Android apps here, nothing special. You do have, of course, the preloaded Sprint app so that you can do the Sprint IZ and Sprint Zone and things of that nature. But for the most part, there's not a whole lot on here. You can see the Documents to Go, which is a nice Office app. Take a look at the browser real quick. We've got PhoneArena loaded here. Everything's nice and smooth. We can double tap to zoom in and zoom out. Pan across, flip it over, pinch zoom. So everything runs very smoothly, very fluidly. Don't have any issues with that. Being a little bit smaller of a display, sometimes it can be hard to read the small text, like if you're trying to read our little article previews down there, but generally you're not going to be reading those and you're going to zoom in and read anyway, which is a lot more comfortable. Like we said, the 5-megapixel camera turned in so-so results. Images were a little bit blurry. The color reproduction wasn't quite right. It was a little oversaturated, a little bit soft, but again, at $19.99, you're getting what you pay for with a device like this. The callers unfortunately said this isn't the greatest phone for call quality. They told us that we sounded like we were standing in the way back of a cave, and it kind of sounded like we were talking through wax paper. We were really fuzzy, as they described it. To us, they actually sounded pretty good. It's one of the better devices we've tested in terms of the speaker performance, so a little bit of a mixed bag there. Battery life is rated at 8 hours, so plenty to get you through a normal day. We were able to have the phone, use it throughout the day with moderate usage, and didn't even chew up half the battery, so for most users, that's going to be just fine. At $19.99, this is a very compelling entry-level device. When we saw the LG Optimus S ways ago, we were really impressed at what LG could do at such a cheap price. And ZTE has basically done the same thing with the Fury here at even less of a price. When the Optimus was introduced, it was only $50. This one's only $20, and we're sure there are places you can find it out there for free, not directly through Sprint. So overall, it's nice to see some ZTE devices. They are the 4th largest handset manufacturer in the world, so expect to be seeing more. And so far, they're off to a good start.